Welcome back to the stream. Welcome back for our evening/night portion of today. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. Let's play some more viewer lists, eh? Here we go. It has been a while, Max. Hello, hello. Get your lists in exclamation Discord. Exclamation lists. Let's get the party going. Exclamation lists has all the information you need. Free for a limited time only. Grix's tempo, nice. Yeah, you did it correct. Good boy. Good boy. You're up next. I'm not playing with sideboards, though. I'm just playing best of one. It takes too long. The comp constructed takes too long. So another option that I have. So basically, the options are either I can play in the normal queue that's like first to 7 wins or 3 losses, or just play in ladder play for like 3 matches. But I like actually playing in an event. So like those are the two options. I could play like 2 to 3 matches in like the ladder queue, or I could play the best of 7 or 3. I think it's more exciting if there's like more on the line. That's where I've kind of viewed it so far. Basically a 2-for-1 value pile. Oh, I love me a value pile. This is my new favorite song. Yeah, it makes sense. Also, by the way, they officially announced that they are going to make a friends list at some time in the future. It was very vague, but at some time in the future, there is going to be a friends list on Arena, so that's pretty exciting. At some time in the future. I'm pretty ahead, even with the Tempest Caller. Sleep is like something we have to really, that we could get really blown out by. I kind of want to go Militia Bugler Tribunal on the Mistbinder, but I think it's probably better to just go Vanguard into Loxodon. You get to be your friend? Yeah, I don't know if they're going to do a limit or how they're going to implement it, but it's going to be really good for this education series when we record it. Hopefully it's done soon. It would make recording this education series Much easier. Losing friendship? Hey. Yo, what's up, Booty? How you doing, buddy? What? That can't be right. That just seems wrong on so many levels. $10, $12, $15. Kind of want to get rid of this misbinder. Nice to see you, though, Boot. Welcome back to the stream, buddy. I mean, like, I guess sleep is the way we lose here. We also at least lose to, like, running Tempest Callers, but... did we lose to a Lord? We lose to a Lord. I guess we should have not died, put ourselves dead to a Lord. But we have to end the game as well. Like, it's kind of tough. Like, we were dead to a Lord, but we were also dead if we just did nothing. If we just play the Tribunal and then just, like, keep back our Knight of Grace, it's not great either. It's weird against Merfolk because you have to be, like, aggressive, but at the same time you get in board stall positions. But they have a bunch of cards like Sleep and Tempest Color that break up the board stall. Like, I'm super ahead, sort of. Oh, that's perfect. Well, is it, though? Because they sleep, these are just tapped. Or I make the thing that they're tapped. Like, let's see, I attack. It's not actually perfect. If I attack with everything, they block. 3 plus 2 plus 2 is 7 and not lethal. So I have not lethal. And I die on the crackback. Let's apply lethal. Okay. Not quite lethal applied. So I think I want to keep a March of the Multitudes now. We can only march for 1 if they sleep, though. And march for 1 doesn't save us. We're currently dead on board, so there's a big incentive for my opponent to attack here. Sleep still kills us. Tempest Caller still kills us. But we currently look dead on board. But then I can just, like, march for 3. So I think they should attack all, even if they don't have a tap down. Sure. So I can only make 3 tokens, which is not a good number. How dare Wizards of the Coast limit my friendship, though? It's absurd. You can survive at 1 if we do these blocks. Or we can chump. We don't. The 3 here. Do we survive at 1 now? Then we have an extra attacker. Attack all here. I think it's fine with the Knight of Autumn to gain 4 life here. They have to trade a decent amount here. They can clear this. Then I get 4 in, put my opponent to 4. I go to 5. So they can go to 5 here. What are they doing here? Okay. So I go to 2 and then I go to 6. And I'm still on the dodge stuff plan. But I can't apply lethal back yet. And they could just like draw a Tempest Caller or a Sleep to kill me. This Knight of Autumn doesn't trade for anything except the Speaker. So we can go to 1 and trade with the Speaker here. And then I have to... I don't have anything to apply lethal here. But I do have 2 blockers. So now we're at like parity. But the problem is they have cards to draw out of this better than we do. Just win? I'm trying to just win. I'm explaining my just win strategy. I'm explaining my just win. It's not that easy. When you're not that good, it's not that easy. Just not that good. Teach me just win. We are going to convoke here to get a guy. We didn't want to do it last turn though, Eliminator, because then it'd be put us in a rough spot. Block, block. I'll trade this with something here. We need to end the game faster because my opponent can just kill me. Like, my opponent has Tempest Caller and Sleep off the top, so it's essential that we actually try to kill the opponent. How you doing, Eliminator? Welcome back to the stream. Did you get good? I don't know what to tell you. Well, you can tell me whatever, all right? Just treat me nice, all right? Just treat me nice. That's all. My only request. Do you have a pump spell? Nope. Easy victory. I got good. I just won. You told me right. Just win. I did it. I just won. Yeah, thanks so much. I appreciate it. So generous of you. Just to tell me to just win. The pressure is what got to me, and then I was like, of course, I must perform. Could you imagine this is an elf knight? That would be insane. You blame yourself? What? It's a good thing. I'm confused. Play the flute, alright? You'll be fine. Normally when you blame yourself for something, it means it's a bad thing. I don't know, that's just my experience. My opponent is playing green-black, doesn't have black mana. They just have like mono walkers. They just like to walk. And they like to explore. They're mono green explorer walk. Opponent is getting quite aggressive. I love it. They're getting mighty aggressive here. I mean, my opponent's at 32, so. But now they're at 11. So. Easy game. They need to have a more explore in their hand. What? No! Back at 23? Panic? Those things are huge. They're huge. I guess we just wait till we draw a Convoke spell. Yikes. They have a removal spell? Yeah. Makes sense. At least they burn the removal spell here to clear out these lifelingers. You the only one panicking? Hey, it's gonna be alright. You just win. You said just win and then you started panicking. That doesn't convey the same message. Your message is all over the place. I don't like it one bit. Hey, what's up, Bob? How you doing, buddy? Welcome back to the stream. Oh, that's a good card. That is a good dual serviceable card. It has two good options on it. Could have rebought Explore guys, or could have just, kill the board. Keep two Rangers there. Or Wild Growth Walkers. Wild Growth Walkers. A big yikes. Now we get the March. This game. Next list is going to be Mr. Awesome Dudes. If you guys want to submit any lists, exclamation lists in Discord. Otherwise, I'll play some more Blue Red. Blue Red was a lot of fun earlier. It was very explosive and actually just crushed. Is this the worst guild? It's unplayable. We need to draw a white mana. Any white source is good here. Come on. Green black decks, what are you doing? Stop your silly things. These are the decks that we were just stomping with blue red. Submit it. Exclamation lists. And then exclamation Discord. Easy white mana. Clap. Agreed. Lots of white mana. Not much to do. Getting smushed. This is a combo. Free. Limited time only. They're not donor leagues right now. I forgot to put free in that thing. Hold on. There we go. I mean, we could trade 1-for-1 here. That's fine. So with 3 eyes? Hey, you could just fix it, all right? Or you could tell me. Come on, dude. Come on. There we go. We got it. I don't want to hear your sass. Awesome, dude. He's sassy tonight. I fixed it. All right. Thanks, grammar. This board is pretty impressive, by the way. This is one of the more impressive draws from Alexis's deck. Could have played this one because it's actually a knight, so it attacks well with history. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. You got me. You got me. We already have so many mods this time of night. We don't need any more. I'm refusing your application. We already have too many. Too many cooks. What? It showed me a rare and then didn't show me what it was. What a tease. Ah. Nice. Nice feature. It's a feature. What? Are you kidding? Mods make like 300% more than they used to since we got partnered. It's pretty lucrative now. Just ask any friendly neighborhood mod. Amara plus 2+2. That doesn't actually add up. I just wanted to play Vanguard here. I think it's better than playing. Here we go. There we go. It's good to play Amara when you can actually convoke right away. You reject your rejection. Only that's how life worked, you know? We need another land for Tristani, and we probably win the game. We are very close to winning the game. Almost. Paid 4 life against mono red. I think that was correct there, actually. No! Sure. I'll trade a Vanguard with the Pyromancer. Do they have a shock too? Feels good, man. Oh, another Wizard's Lightning. Pota takes 8 though. It's like a sizable chunk. Oh, yikes. Card is pretty good. Land? Can we get a 5th land, please? Just 1 5th land. That's all I require. No! Terrible news. I block, take 4, go to 1. All right. Take 4, go to 1. It's my out. No, I'm winning from there, though. I paid 4. I pay an extra life to do that. So I pay an extra life. I'm down at 4 damage, and then I would die. Like, so I could save the X1, and then block the Chain Whirler. So then I'm like, but I'm not really advancing the board state by paying an extra life there, Eliminator. So like, it's not paying 3 life; it's paying 4. And like the 1 life, I think actually does matter in this particular circumstance, because if I hit Justani, I think the 1 life would matter though. And I don't think that the 1/1 Vanguard is as important as the 1 life. I mean, obviously we'd be taking less here. So then we would have a chump block on the Chain Whirler, right? So then we could like chump block. We would be at 4, and then we could chump block Chain Whirler, trade, and then Loxodon here, and then we'd be at. Then we'd be at 3 or 4. We'd be at 2. We'd be at 2, and then we would die anyway. Because they would trade this. It would have eaten that. There'd be 2 guys here. Like, then we're at 2. I still don't think that's an out, though. Perhaps that was our out, though. Yeah, because then there's, like, 1 less guy. I don't know. I'm very hesitant about using Vanguard against Mono Red. That's, like, also assuming they drew nothing. Most of the time, it's not correct to save your Vanguards. So I just went to like the normal play of not saving your Vanguard most of the time. Like usually paying 4 life is not a good thing. But I guess because we could have chumped another time, it was actually like paying 4 life for 6 life essentially, and we had a very small chance of winning anyway. So the chance of winning did involve taking an extra point of damage that particular turn to then take less damage the next turn. But at the same time, I guess then we could have locked it on with the 1/1, and then we had 2 2/2s. Then we could have blocked a 2 and a 2. Oh, actually, we could have blocked 3, a 2, and a 2, and gone to 1. Yeah, that would have been a good sweet line, actually. Yep. I was thinking that pay the 4 life was not necessary, but I just didn't take enough time to think about it. So. Did not play to my outs. Unfortunately, all the lines had to assume that the opponent drew actual nothing. And we didn't know what my opponent drew there. They have Erasmus Contempt. But they can't beat Knight of Grace, so that's the positive here. I just have to attack with my Knight of Grace every single turn, and keeping the Ajani means that we actually get some more damage in the long term with the Knight of Grace. Okay, if my opponent doesn't have a Erasmus Contempt, then pretty easy GG. Like, Knight of Grace is almost impossible for them to deal with, especially with this Ajani pumping it up. This opens up a time for there to be a removal spell. So we perhaps should have just played the Venerated Loxodon first and then plus with the Ajani. Because then there's actually not an opportunity for my opponent to remove the Amara. So I was supposed to play the Venerated Loxodon first instead of plusing the Planeswalker. Because then there's no priority for my opponent to destroy the Amara and blow out that line. I don't like this hand. The first hand has 2 lands, and it only has 1 of each color, which is, like, pretty bad in general. This hand's much better. Just a Knight of Grace into history is, like, a good curve. And playing against a black deck is a big positive for Knight of Grace. It's a big selling point. It's still just good against green black as well, even though some of the green things can block it. But like Chupa can't deal with it. They don't really have much removal. They have to actually block it. So they have Chupa next turn for this history token. And then they have 2 blockers so they can deal with the Knight of Grace. Oh, it doesn't have a land. Nice. Oddly enough, the Dusk Legion Zealot doesn't make it so they can actually block the Knight of Grace because of how interactions work. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna offer the trade here. My opponent trades and messes up my Venerated Loxodon math, but I don't actually think my opponent's gonna trade here. There is the possibility that they do trade though. Okay, they do. So it does mess up my math. So now I can't actually Loxodon and Amara. I was trying to get the 2 points of damage, but there's a significant downside if I don't get the 2 points of damage, because then we can't Loxodon out. But at the same time, is it better for my opponent to Ravenous Chupacabra the Amara than the Venerated Loxodon? So this deck is crushing it. It's pretty good. Next list we have up is the Grixis value list from Awesome Dude. And then we don't have any more after that. So if you want to get your list in, exclamation lists. Hand's very heavy for a 2-lander, but I think it's reasonable with the quality 2 drops we have. It is risky though, as most 2-landers on the play are. Yep, for exactly that reason. The numbers aren't great for a 2-lander. Oh, actually, I didn't actually look at this deck. I think the numbers are actually awful, lands-wise. Oh, 22 lands with flower? Oh, 100% never keeping 2 landers. I didn't actually check the numbers. A non-flower, flower to flourish to flower or whatever hand with 2 lands on the play is unkeepable. Just so few lands. That's why we've been having issues getting to 5. We're only playing 22. Alexis, I think Alexis might want to put that number up. I think that number is too low. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. Meant to pass the turn. If we just draw land, we probably are in this. Not anymore. Well, this is going to be hard to deal with. It doesn't deal quite as much damage with the mentor and other things. They both require the same answer. A while. Your deck is up next now, awesome dude. Ooh, a Nicol Bolas. Nicol. How many Nicol Bolases do we have now? 1. That was our first Nicol Bolas. Nicol Bolas. No, that's fine. Awesome. Oh, it's only playing 3? Not a problem. You need Angrath and Nicol. I don't have any Angraths. Interesting. Exclusion Mage? Really? I feel like the deck could do better with an Exclusion Mage. I feel like there are more powerful effects that at 3 that you want to be doing. I probably should have shocked for shock. You wanted to try an exclusion mage with like counter spells, or like exclusion mage into like Nicol Bolas. I think Hostage Taker is just better exclusion mage, right? I crafted all 4 of them, and I bought more packs. I bought more packs and crafted 4 of them. I was tired of not playing Steam Vents decks. I didn't open them. Still not open to Steam Vents. I guess Exclusion Mage is going to be good here. Still just can't open. My opponent doesn't play anything that I want to syncopate. Oh, syncopate that. Do they have the Shame land afterwards? I feel like syncopate might get better in this metagame with shocklands being a thing, because people aren't going to shock in to play around to syncopate. So like even if my opponent has a land, if it's a shock land, they're just going to play it tapped, right? So they would never shock to play around syncopate. Oh, they just don't have another land. Okay, that makes more sense. Well, Exclusion Mage is just doing work here. Since my opponent doesn't have much mana, they only have 2 mana. Well, now they have 3, but that's a recast as Andante Vanguard, so we could just nab it with the Hostage Taker, or we could force the Lava Coil indestructible and then another indestructible. We could just like keep forcing indestructible, which is a reasonable way to play against that card. Like do this and then block and then shock. It just forces a lot of life. So it's basically like you're trading a large number of life for all these things. And then eventually we'll just Hostage Take it anyway. So like we'll wait till their turn. If they attack, we'll block. My opponent has to then activate for indestructible. Then I'll shock, which will then pay another 4 life. That's pretty good. But Lava Coil and Shock would have to double team for that one. We can Hostage Shaker that, I guess. Now my opponent's going to be down to 8 after all this. Now, we could try to find another removal spell with the Discovery and Opt. Or we could Hostage Take the Aurelia. Kind of want a Discovery here. Contempt is great. We can draw exclusion mage here. Shock, and then we get a contempt next turn. Well, exclusion mage is doing work, I guess. Just putting my opponent off balance. Then we'll be able to opt into Veracity Contempt next turn. My opponent's just running out of life for this Vanguard, so it's not even worth contempting the Vanguard. We're going to contempt the Aurelia now. They didn't give Indestructible? I think my opponent tried to give... I think they were supposed to give Indestructible and then gain the life right back. And then they'd be at 7. You could say you're tempoing out, yeah. I think my opponent done messed up. I don't want Discovery. It's a great cantrip, but I just want a random card. Opponent done messed up. Easy GG, yeah. I mean, we still at the end of the game. We're not ending the... We haven't ended the game yet. Still on the agenda. Hostage Taker basically removes a knight here. I mean, like, running History Banalize is way out of this. Yikes. Wow, and Lightning Strike? Big yikes. I think we're dead. I think we're actually dead. That's the problem with things like Exclusion Mage, is like they were buying time, but we didn't have a payoff. And for those games when you're going to keep buying time but not have that payoff, it's rough. I'm going to 10. Gets the Aurelia now? They miss damage? Question mark? Angrath is sweet, but doesn't accomplish too much. No. Alright, well. Guess I'll have Veracity's Contempt here. Take 8, go down to 4. Still not good. We're at 4. Still in a rough spot. Yeah. And I don't think my opponent drew, like, extremely well by any means. I think they just drew a reasonable, aggressive... I mean, okay. I mean, like, so my opponent drew, like, their good cards. The problem is we couldn't outclass. Like, you can't outclass the top end of a deck like this, then what's the deck trying to do? And if you're trying to outclass decks, Exclusionary Mage is not outclassing decks. It's buying time towards something. So the best example of an Exclusion Mage in Standard is the Mono Blue deck, which is buying time with the Exclusion Mage so you chip away with your flyers and your unblockables and make it so they don't actually end up hitting you and you end the game in time. You have to end the game in time. It doesn't buy time till you get to your big thing. It just makes it so you have to re-deal with that. And you've used the card for tempo purposes. But tempo only works if you have a threat. So tempo works if you have a threat or card advantage engine going off. And if you're playing defensive, a tempo, that's not really tempo. And we were playing defensive that entire game. And there was no way we were able to pivot from defensive to tempo. We were playing like this can be flexible into control, but the problem is a flexible Exclusionary Mage isn't a flexible card into control. Whereas the Thief of Sanity has flexibility, for instance. Just more removal. Like, I don't think you have cast downs in here. Like, cast down is a wonderful magic card. And the card's very good. They're gonna Chain Whirl and Exclusion Mage, I think, now. Or, I mean, sorry, Chain Whirl and Firebrand. Could have kept up Ionize here, but I think I want to get down Thief of Sanity, so I have 2 threats. You have to deal with 1. They're going to deal with the Thief of Sanity, probably. Yeah. So, like, Exclusionary Mage looks bad here, but, like, a cast down would have been able to deal with this job in Chain Whirler. For instance. We could fight with fire, but I want to ionize the Experimental Frenzy. But I don't think Experimental Frenzy is going to come down. The problem is if you tap out with things like Fight with Fire is a sorcery speed interaction. And if I'm tapping out with a Fight with Fire, I can't really leave up Ionize. So Ionize decks and also Fight with Fire decks are kind of like, they kind of battle each other a bit. We just have to slam it on anything we can see. That's another battling point is, are you a sorcery deck or are you an instant deck? You have to decide where you lie. You can't be on this in-between portion. Because the in-between portion is where you get the deck definition gets confused. And a confused deck doesn't usually lead to success. Because you have to define your role. You can be flexible in your role after board, perhaps, but you have to have a definite role for your main. And mid-range has a definite role, but this is not exactly doing mid-range things. Like, Ionize is not really a mid-range card. It's more a control card. Whereas Exclusionary Rage is a tempo card, and then like Nicol Bolas is your quintessential mid-range card. It does everything mid-range wants to do. This is a cool combo, actually, though. Exclusionary Mage against Experimental Frenzy. I think we might be able to win here, though. Hey, Cop Girl, how you doing? Please attack. And dead. Greedy attack from OP. It kind of had that in the game, but... So the Exclusionary Mage looked good there, and the only reason it did was because of Frenzy. Again, here's a little bit more of the tension between Syncopate and Discovery deck. So you're seeing some more of the non-defined rolled. Like, I think this is a fine sorcery tap-out deck. I think should be a sorcery tap-out deck, but then you can't play things like Syncopate and Ionize in the deck. you're playing on at a sorcery speed. Now things like Vraska's Contempt just happen to be uh, instant, but it can be used at sorcery speed as well. Like I think things like Discovery are pretty good. They're pretty good cantrips. I think they're powerful. But you want to be playing at sorcery speed, and maybe like after sideboard you get negates, right? But in your main, just like being a sorcery speed tap out deck with your Nicol Bolas, your Thief, Sanity, Fight with Fire, Vraska's Contempt, etc. And maybe if you are a sorcery speed entire deck, then maybe your Exclusion Mage looks a little better. But the problem is, if you're not playing 1-drops and 2-drops on the board, Exclusion Mage is not great because it doesn't push the board position. Now, this buys time until I can play Nicol Bolas and then start chipping away at Nicol Bolas. But if you had a cast down, instead of Discovery, I could have maybe cast down something. Or if you have maybe Lava Coil, I can Lava Coil something. I mean, I guess there are Lava Coils, aren't there? There's 2 Lava Coils. Those type of things. Also, choosing 2 colors and then splashing another color might be a good decision. Like, perhaps you might just want to splash blue, and you're, like, for your threats, maybe blue is your threat color, and then, like, red and black are your base removal cards. And that means that you don't play cards like Opt. It's an entirely reasonable scenario. Maybe you don't even play Hostage Taker. Maybe you just play blue for Nicol Bolas. Maybe you play blue for, like, Thief, Sandy, and Nicol Bolas, but you don't play blue a lot in the main. Because mana's good, but it's not, like, phenomenal. You could play this tapped and then just play a Thief of Sanity here. I like Nicol Bolas better, though. It's bigger. You also could just keep up Syncopate. But I like I like progressing the game state. Get that Nicol down. I also think that Nicol, even though it's a 3 like a legendary, I think it's reasonable to have it as a 4 of. Since you always want to have it on turn 4. Maybe that's wrong. They could have Boon if I block. If they had mana up. They don't have mana up. They don't play a land and then they try to play the Deep Root Elite. I'll be able to syncopate it. But that's a really expensive syncopate. This is better. I guess we could have cut the land for Nicol Bolas. Yeah, I probably should have cut the land, actually. And then we can't ionize either. Rather just eat the Adept than, like, block a 1-1 for free. The question is, do I want to ionize or do I want to Thief of Sanity? I think their average card that I steal with Thief of Sanity is not that good. Oh, now they went to 6 though. I do want to play this now. They went to 6 because now I have lethal. If they don't have a sleep, no sleep means I have lethal. Also, no bounce spell. No sleep, no bounce spell, no tap down on my turn. Hopefully they don't have lethal either. They need to have like a 1-drop and a 2-drop Merfolk here. Sleep is really good. It's very restful. We get to then play. We get to relax while our opponent beats us down. No, Water Trap Weaver is gonna kill us here. Yikes! Not like this. Water Trap. No. We need a shock off the top. Shock, please. Oh, I guess not shock because they're gonna tap the Nicol Bolas. I don't know how I would now. We did. It's a lot of 2s. There was the shock. I did ask for that, didn't I? We don't have double red. If we had double red, if they had cast a spell before they go to... So many things. If they cast a spell before... Man. Feels bad, man. Then we could have won with the Ionize and the shock and stuff. They just have too many things. We needed double red. Oh, they would have cast a spell too pre-combat. Do we need to like shock and then Ionize pre-combat? Unfortunately, we did not have double red there. Mana base hurt us a bit. We could have kept that land on top at one point, but then we wouldn't have drawn towards the shock that we did. So that's like not a great point to argue. Like at that point, we didn't need double red. So you could argue that like, oh, you didn't have double red, you're not gonna be able to do 2 red spells. But then we drew the red spells after we put the land on the bottom. So like, not a great argument. I don't think Opt is what this deck wants. Mono shock lands. Feels good, man. My mana base hurts. Either hurts or it comes in tapped. I think the mana base is bad though. No, it's not that it's bad. That's what happens with 3-color mana bases. So you're gonna say, oh man, I didn't have 2 of my 1 color. How unlucky. But no, that's just what happens with 3-color mana bases in standard. You sometimes often won't have 2 of 1 color. That's why you'll see a lot of 3-color decks are splashing one of the third. They value the 1 color not as highly. So they only need 1 of that source. Because it's hard to have double, double, double. That's the hard part. The mana base is good. To have like, and it just, I wouldn't have like double this, double that, double that. Being base 1 color is also really nice for a mana base. So if you're base black, or I guess a lot of these spells are base blue, right? So if you're base blue and then you splash black and red from that, like Ionize and this, then like that actually works really well. I guess red is the splash color. So like doing double red stuff is tough. Like based on the spells in the deck right now, red is the color that's the least common. The problem is a lot of your red cards want you to double, like shock wants to be played with another card and often wants to be played with another red card. Because shock is a hard red card to have on it, like by itself. It's not like, hey, I have a shock, this is fine. Sometimes shock needs to be paired with another burn spell to be able to remove something. But you do have hard removal as well. I also think that things like Elders Reborn are not as powerful in this type of strategy as they are in like Green Black, for instance, because you don't have ways to rebuy them, and your deck is, if you're really trying to be the tempo mid range, your deck is not about grinding to the bitter end, which is why like Green Black is not really a mid range deck. It's more on the area on the side of control, right? Is this Menace? Yeah. Yeah, like Elders Reborn and Feinberg are the grind. I am Mayo 84. You can submit your list. Exclamation lists. Exclamation Discord. The commands are in the title. That was a good one to steal, the Walk the Plank. I do, but not like jank. I don't have. I mean, I have a lot of the. I mean, it depends on. It depends how crazy you're going. Discord, no S. It depends how crazy you're going. There, you're good. I have like most of the mana base of the format. I'm missing like a few Rootbound Craigs, and like I think that's about it now. Like off the wall rares are tougher. I don't know if I have all those yet actually. Just post a list and then I'll take a look at it. It's the best way to do it. No harm in posting. I can always say no after that. This game is looking better, awesome. My opponent also hasn't really done much. I guess they removed a few of my things. The thing is, my opponent's deck is pretty slow, so that's very helpful. Because we have a problem against like fast decks or like other mid-range decks, but we don't have a problem against like these slow, grindy, removal-heavy decks. Take a look at that in just a second. Oh, I don't need the YouTube video, but thank you. Yeah, right? That's what I thought, Jonah. How you doing, bud? We hanging out on Saturday? Wait, you never heard of MTGA's music? I'll be there on Saturday. just for the day. Only sync for 7. I think the deck got better, or maybe it's just about the same. It's just like good. Easy. Easy win. Think it got worse? What did it lose? It lost. Or is it just because of the meta change? Is it about what it lost and gained, or is it about just how the meta changed? Bowmat, Scrap Heap, Toolcraft, Chef of Dunes, and Lands. Oh, yeah, that actually means it did get a lot. Yeah, you're right, you're right. That means it got a lot worse. Your deck list is a little bit broken, Mario. You need to make sure that there are 15 cards in the sideboard and that there aren't more than 4 copies of each. Just put a new deck list there. You're good. How you doing, Pokemaster Carlos? And welcome back to the stream. Yeah, I can see how it would get worse. That makes sense. Yes, I don't know the exact direction to go here. Not awesome dude. But I think it would be more of sorcery speed interaction with like hard removal. So like not shocks, more like the black based removal, like cast downs and that sort of thing. And like no more instant speed, like counter spells and such in the main. I don't know what you would want to replace with the exclusion mages with. I don't think you'd want them in the deck. Ionize as well. Basically all these cards in his hand. I guess Discovery is still fine. If you just want a lot of 2-for-1s, you could go the Elders Reborn route. But the problem is, in like a Grixis strategy, there's just better things to do than Elders Reborn at that current mana cost. Such as like Angrath. That card's sick. I think that the big disadvantage of Grixis is that they can't buy back the I think that's the biggest disadvantage, is that like not being able to buy back the Eldest Reborn, which is what makes it so powerful in green black. Also, there's so many planeswalkers and creatures that are relevant to get in green black, especially Finebroker. Finebroker just is like what makes that so strong, and especially with like the 6-mana Vraska, right? Like what are you getting back with your Eldest Reborn here? Like a Nicol Bolas. It's not quite as exciting. It's not like unexciting. It's still pretty decent. It's much less powerful, though. I think that Ral has some spot in the deck. I don't know if there was in the sideboard or not. I know we're not playing with sideboards right now. But Ral seems pretty sweet. As like at least a sideboard option for card advantage. Might probably be better than Angrath? Because the minus actually kills things? Even if it's mediocre kill? Sounds good, Mayo. Take my nickel. Are there any board wipes in Grixis? That's one another issue. I guess the best one I can think of is the pirate one. Well, like non-pirate one, I should say. I have not, Nami. Ritual Soot. Okay, yeah. Ritual Soot also makes it so that you don't want to play 3 converted mana cost guys. So if you want to go towards like the higher curve Nicol Bolas direction, it's pretty good. Give me a song. I didn't want to craft their black-red burn cards, so green-red Frenzy. I'm getting much closer to the green-red Frenzy deck, so I'm gonna take a look at that one. I opened a bunch of rare wild cards today. Oh, I'm dead. Yo, thanks, Nami. Appreciate it. I played blue-red spells earlier. That deck is insane. The deck is so powerful. I played a Beacon Bolt and killed a Galta on turn, what, 5 or 6? I killed a Galta on turn 5 or 6. It was for 13 or 14, something like that. Like, it was actually absurd. There was one time I got, what, triple Phoenix on turn 5 or something like that? I was like kind of dirtling, like removing their things, and then it's like triple Phoenix turn 5. At one point, there was a Wild Growth Walker deck. It had gained 18 life, and I still beat it on turn like 7 or 8. I had like a 10-4 Drake. Like that deck is so good, and it's so explosive too. It's a lot. It was a lot of fun to play. I don't know. I beat Mono Red a few times. I don't think it's the worst matchup. So the idea of this list is to Psychic Corrosion people out. It's like a Psychic Corrosion Nexus of Fate mill deck. So you want to flip your amulet, and then you can cast double Nexuses, and you cast like you flip your amulet, you cast double Nexuses and stuff like that. I feel like a better card a card that isn't in here that would be very good in it is Search for Escanta. Yeah, triple Nexuses. Yeah, I feel like Search for Escanta's not in here and it'd be very good. Oh well, that's not a realistic. That's not a realistic. You didn't give them a chance at all. This looks interesting. We'll definitely consider it. What's this Gruel Dinosaurs deck? Wait, so basically the idea is experimental frenzy and just tons of dinosaurs? Is this the list that 5-0'd the recently? Yeah, it's a recent 5-0. This list is a mess. I mean, Wayward Swordtooth gives multiple lands, so you can like have Wayward Swordtooth out with your experimental frenzy, and then just like keep going off. Interesting. Let's play the Bliss Blue White deck first. Okay. I took out those 4 sideboard cards with the rares that I didn't want to make. The Amulet of Safekeeping or whatever. We're just going to be playing single games. So. I do think this deck would definitely benefit from playing shoot words. Search for Escanto. Yeah. Zero Mo, thanks so much for the follow. Appreciate it. Blue White Fog, yeah. It's basically Blue White Fog. But if you put Blue White Life Gain combo, it sounds so much cooler. We'll try it without Escanta first. Because I don't know what I would want for Escanta. Escanta usually speeds up decks like this, right? There's no Teferi in this deck, though. The combos that you fog them and then cast Teferi and take infinite turns to deck them. This one's entirely built upon Psychic Corrosion, which is basically the same thing as Teferi, right? Basically the same thing. What if you go against a control deck? Don't you just die? Oh, we're playing non-sideboarded games, so Just faster for me to get through a lot of viewer decks. It's instant, right? Is there any of these that are not instant? No, okay. This is green aggro. Splash black. This is not the Gugari control. Are there no counter spells in the deck? Basically just like all gain lives, which is essentially fog. They're playing like an aggressive tilt on it. Yeah, green black dredge apparently. Land? Yeah. Anyone have any suggestion on candles? Candles are your new thing? From like, are you like a typical like Yankee Candle type of person, or like real candles? What do you have against Yankee Candle? You probably previously. I was previously named Z Magic 94. Name change. Mana cheese. Maybe you had some auto follows when you like followed the. I don't know. I have no idea how that happened. Beats me. Oh, that's so nice of them, not me. Yeah, my name's Dead Magic. That's about it. I play Magic almost every day. I played Magic for an entire year, at least 2 hours of Magic every single day. I did a 365-day challenge. I play a lot of fun decks. We're doing some viewer decks right now. It's a rough deck. I mean, it'll be fine. Should be fine. Perhaps you are viewing me from like one of my hosts. That's my only guess. That would make sense. Yeah, Stream Decker is great. The Stream Decker panel is very good as well. Yeah, rebrand PogChamp. Indeed. Rebranding's good. Jonah, best decision I've made recently. They like 6/6s that cost way too much mana. Not me, obviously. Don't you like a 6/6 that costs like 5 mana on average? Are you not a fan? This deck is supposed to. This deck is milling people with Psychic Corrosion and gaining a ton of life, with things like Fountain of Youth, Uncomfortable Chill, and Ritual Rejuvenation. Ideally, it's drawing things like. Well, we didn't draw it. Like Amulet to then be able to combo off. This game is called Losing. Amulet of will be able to, for every. You can look at the deck list. It's the Amulet card on the deck list. You can look at the Stream Decker overlay. It shows all the cards. Amulet's the main card, and then there's Nexus of Fate to take infinite turns. Could have stopped 8 of that damage with my Uncomfortable Chill, but I was still dead. If you have any specific questions, please ask away. But basically, essentially, it uses the Amulet, which is the 4 mana artifacts. And then it flips the Amulet and then doubles all the spells it casts from using that Amulet. I'll explain exactly what's happening when it's actually going off. That's the best way to describe it. It's hard to describe it when it's not going off. Nine. I haven't played any of those. I don't even know if I had those crafted on Arena, Jonah. So he uses Primal Amulet. That's the card that we're focused around here. Yeah, Nicol Bolas is great. I was just playing a Nicol Bolas deck. What do you not get? Maybe I can help you out. So Nicol Bolas is a 4-cost creature, and the reason why it's good is because it's aggressively costed, which means that it's kind of like undercosted for what the ability is. So because it when it comes down, your opponent is going to discard a card. So it's already traded a 1-for-1, and then when you got into 7 mana, it then just wins the game because when you're flipping Nicol Bolas, it's very small percentage that you're actually going to lose the game. The card is difficult to cast, and that's one major downside. But a 4/4 flyer that immediately trades for a card from your opponent's hand, and then has the upside of when it flips, it wins the game. It's pretty great, right? Because even if it's removed immediately, it still has ETB, enter the battlefield importance. Yeah, opponent is missing a mana. They're missing white. They're missing a color. So not really a game. The disadvantage of it is if you don't have a good mana base, it's your lands. If you don't have good lands, then you're not going to be able to cast the card reliably. And the later you in the game you cast the card, the less powerful it is. On turn 4, it's like very strong. Later in the game, it does drop off some amounts. However, the card always has some upside because if you're able to untap with 7 mana, it's very powerful. Yeah, it wins the late game for sure. That is the advantage. Is the amulet Maze of Ith? No, this amulet is copy instants and sorceries. The one that's the Maze of Ith is the one that gets your basics from your deck. So this one works with draw spells, for instance, and then you can like double draw and stuff like that, and double nexus and etc. So basically, essentially, you want to like nexus infinite times here. Eventually, we'll get a mill enchantment, which will work really well. So now we get to draw 4, discard 2. Like, my opponent's lost, but the opponent probably won't concede for a while, which is unfortunate. Amulet decks are sweet. Yeah, they definitely are. When they work, they're definitely really cool. That's awesome, Max. I think that killing that Galta today was like the highlight of Beacon Bolt though. Triple turns. Feels good, man. Now triple draw. I did have the Beacon Bolt moment. Yeah, for sure. Is this the modern? Yeah. How'd you know, Cairo? They added modern to Arena. How'd you figure that out? You're so smart. We're doing it. How you doing, Stale Moves? The casting cost for that ability seems super late game. I mean, turn 7. It's a 7 mana, so turn 7. Yeah, happy Thursday. I always think of Thursday as Turkey Day, even when it's not Thanksgiving. Thursday is always Turkey Day. So I'm actually working on some material right now, Mana Cheese. If you check out F2 free to play crafting, I'm going to be highlighting every 2-color deck and every 1-color deck that is given to you in the new player experience package. That was a weird bug. I just like couldn't keep the double. I should have probably not mulliganed the 6 there. The 6-card hand was probably fine. I was just greedy. No, you're good, Mana Cheese. So I'm gonna have more material there. Right now it's just a highlight of the mono blue and mono red, but I'm working through some more material for the 2-color decks as well. No, you're good. You're good, Mana Cheese. No problem. Thanks for the host. Appreciate it. White Black will be stronger next rotation, but with some good cards for the archetype are Knight of Malice, Knight of Grace, Aquil's Bloodfast, and Isolated Chapel. Yeah. Stale Moves, we're gonna be working on like actually updating the Google document that we were working on yesterday to highlight the 2-color decks. I haven't actually done that yet. I'm trying to finish all the monocolored decks that the new player experience, the starter decks on Arena gives you. Well, if my opponents just do nothing every game, then I'll be having a good time. Exclamation YouTube. Right now, it's just past vodcasts, like past streams. But in the future, there's going to be videos as well on YouTube. So there's going to be a Zeducation series, exclamation Zeducation. Yeah, thank you, Jonah. I was about to get that. When was I going to work on the other starter decks? I mean, I could work on it now, guys. Like, is that more? Would you rather me work on that than play some of your viewer decks? You don't understand Education? Why not? Oh, we got rid of the decisions command, Jonah. The Education is just a explaining the new player experience and just getting into Magic and getting into MTG Arena as in general. It's like Education, but with Zed. Oof. Are we not playing enough lands? We'll keep this hand, try to draw blue source. Thanks for the follow, Rajin, as well. Appreciate it. I mean, we could definitely work on that. Trying to teach thing and makes up name. Yeah, those are directly correlated. Not me. Yikes, dude. That's so mean. Why would you talk about me like that? I'm your teacher. I don't think we can beat mono red very well. We have a lot of life game, but at the same time, this hand was kind of clunky. Probably could just opt and revitalize there, but you hit a land drop. Oh, they're out of here. Man, I have a lot of opponents just concede. This deck is killing it. To be fair, you concede the mill as well. Yeah. These quick concessions are insane. But yeah, I don't have a like exact time region Cajun that I'll be working on the free to play decks. But we'll look at them a little bit tonight after some more viewer decks. What is this bug? It's only with Ritual of Rejuvenation, but it doesn't show up, and then it suddenly shows up out of nowhere. That's crazy. It's only with mulligans too. Yeah, opponent actually values their time correctly. That makes sense. No, it's just like a visual bug. Oh, I don't really stream 5 hours a day anymore. I used to stream them 5 hours every single day. I stream a decent amount though. For my 365 of Magic, I streamed every day at least 2 hours of Magic every day, and I averaged around 4. The 365 challenge, I averaged, what, 4 hours a day? Something like that. It was like 3.5, 4, somewhere around there. I take some days off. I took off Tuesday. I'm taking off this Saturday. I take off like 1 day a week, usually. For the challenge, I didn't take any days off for an entire year, but I take days off now. I'm a rational human being again. It wasn't too unreasonable. I just did nothing else in my life. It's pretty easy when you're doing nothing else in your life. It's only hard if you plan on living as well. Exactly. Exactly right, not me. Feels bad, man. I suggest maybe playing the tapped blue-white lands. The colors has been kind of sketchy for your starting hands. Perhaps playing something like the blue-white tap land from M19 would be nice. I believe they're from M19. I don't know the name of that one. I don't like auto-order triggers. Meandering River, yeah. Thank you, Nightcrawler. I just don't like auto-order. Just a preference. It is hard to play with the color combos without shocks right now, yeah. It's just a huge incentive to play the guilds that are already out. As Andrew Brown always says when he comes in the stream, blue-white is not out yet. Wait till next set. Every time he comes in and I end up playing like a blue-white deck. I remember it was like one of the first days of the new format he came in and he was like, why are you playing this? You're supposed to wait till next set for this. I also tweeted about something about blue white, and he said the same thing there too. Misplay? Oh, what? Yeah, you're right. Misplay for sure. I thought that was one of my gain life spells. That was my bad, Nightcrawler. Elf Ball is a deck for sure. Yeah, there's only 8 elves. Yeah. You can call it 8 elf. No, there's more than 8 elves, I thought, in Elf Ball. There's like Thorn Lieutenant, the Elf Lord. I don't know what else. Yeah, I thought that was a gain life spell. That's why I fired it off right away. Yo, nice, Jonah. That's awesome. I guess I should have probably cracked a fountain instead of doing the excellence binding, but we're getting smushed here. We didn't have enough mana. Did we? Did we have enough mana? Did I just miscount? I didn't think we had enough mana. My counting is off today. Hello, dead sir. I'm not dead yet. I have draws. Atomaniac. Uncomfortable chill is a draw. See? Easy game. Easy life. What? No, they're groups. What are you talking about? Don't give me that. They're grouped. This is off-stream gaming. They have different groups. This is general. It has a voice channel with it. This is stream. This is a voice channel with it. What are you talking about here, huh? Whoa, I don't want to hear this sass. What's this sass? They're different groups. I like the order of the money right now. That's being very particular of you. No one's ever happy? Yeah, don't bully the Discord. It's trying its best. That's a big bully. Big bully in chat. Whoa, that's a big yikes. I guess they were playing around, Oh wait, they don't kill me? Oh, I go to 1. I think I go to 1, right? 12, 13. That's fantastic. I think I might want to pop the fountain instead. Yeah, I think I'm going to pop the fountain instead of revitalize. Because I think we're just going to combo with Nexus of Fate here. I understand that we're going to get less life out the fountains, but I think it's more efficient to just like to try to get towards more Nexuses. And we have 2 more turns after this one. So we want to try to maximize our amount of draws by maximizing our mana usage. Easy game. Easiest game of my life. Easy peasy. Stale moves. Yo, thanks for the 25 bits. Easy GG, baby. Agreed. Does Nexus actually copy? Yeah, it does. We have 2 turns left after this one. We also have double uncomfortable chill when it's actually their turn eventually. Oh, we have another Nexus. We have a billion. We currently have 2 on the stack. Now we're at 1. Yo, thanks, Channel Allspark. What was your rename from? I've gotten that before. We have 3 extra turns now. They have not. They have 5 cards left. Oh, they're dead. Man, we have 2 more turns on the stack. I don't think it actually matters though. Let's bounce that one. Ah, Geek Out Hangout. Gotcha. I appreciate the compliment though. It means a lot. Kara, why are you in the voice channel on Discord? Are you supposed to be there? South America. No idea what's going on. All right, voice channels are for talking. If you're in a voice channel, you can talk to other people. You're currently in the PUBG voice channel, so people could talk to you while they're playing PUBG off stream. That's how the PUBG channel works. If you are in a text channel, you can type in the text channels and put things in there. We're playing blue-white. You can see the deck list on the Stream Decker overlay. We're playing blue-white fog, essentially. Hello, Adamaniac. How you doing, buddy? Nice to see you. Overlay is great. I agree. There was some UI stuff I had to talk to DeFreaky about, but overall it's generally amazing. Also, Geek Out, how are you doing, buddy? I haven't seen you stream in like forever now. How's life? Oh, fair enough. Oh, that's awesome. I will not be there, unfortunately. In and out. I'll be at STG. I'll be at the GP this Saturday, though. I'm not playing in New Jersey. I'm just going to hang out on Saturday. It wasn't working yesterday either, so you may not be blind. Good news, you may still have your sight. Because it wasn't working yesterday either, so let me check. Yeah, it's not working again. Hold on. It is now active. It should now be working. Yep, there it works now. For some reason, it broke again. Yeah, you're not blind, which feels good, man. I agree. It's pretty positive not to be blind. You think I can win against aggressive blue decks? We'll have to find out. We will have to find out. Hey. We'll take one hit here. That feeling when you're not blind, it feels good, man. Also, Nightcrawler, are you saying you don't believe in me? That's very negative. I don't know if I appreciate that. Yikes, dude. Casual draw to 4. Okay. All right. You know, we put down the corrosions later in the game. Yeah, that makes sense. I wanted to take a turn off. Should have just like not played the Psychic Corrosion. 100%. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I wish it was a bit more, but I'm not too picky. Some of the free-to-play material that I've been working on is definitely shows how restrictive the starting economy kind of is. What's with quest mode? Quest mode is I believe you should be able to do exclamation quest. Quest mode is a way to earn free subs, donations, and more. You can click the quest mode link below the stream, and you're able to earn points by doing, you know, fun mobile games and such. That's the wrong link. That's the wrong link. That needs to be updated. The new link has my new renaming in it. There we go. No lands feels bad, man. Perfect usually doesn't run generic counters main deck. No, they don't. Not normally. A lot of cards in hand, though. Sometimes they'll run some number of Spell Pierce. I'm just not drawing lands, which is bad in general. Or Amulet. I don't know what my opponent's thinking about. Oh, River Herald Boon. Okay. There's the plains. I'm going to take one here, and they get to draw one. Probably just going to play like Fountain, Blink this. But then I take 2, 4, 7, 9, 10. That's fine. And we just bounce the Seafloor Oracle. I don't know whether they're not playing more to the board. I guess they're afraid of settle. It doesn't really matter. Maybe afraid of a board wipe. Okay, now we might have to... Yeah, we're going to have to let them draw a ton. We're dead. They're not dead, but, like, they're just going to draw another 6 cards, so... I mean, I guess they already had a full hand. Are we actually dead exactly now? Oh, with the C4 Oracle, it was exactly dead. Yeah, it is exactly dead. Because I was... When I calculated if we could survive, I was calculating if they didn't play a Lord and didn't play... And I bounced the Seagate Oracle. So yeah, it actually is a GG. We could have survived if we had bounced the C4 Oracle. We would have been at 1. I don't know where we go from there, though. So some versions play 2 Spell Pierce, some and like 2 Scatter Nami for Merfolk, which I think is like a reasonable suite. Uh-oh, another mono red here. Maybe I play like a spell that gains life and they just quit. Streambecker has come back to life, indeed. It is alive. You are no longer blind. Feels good, man. Feels phenomenal. Hopefully try to do like a triple 1-drop. Hopefully if my opponent tries to do triple 1-drop here. Yes, perfect. Then with the last trigger of Runaway Steamkin, we can bounce the Runaway Steamkin. We're still gonna bounce it. Alright, there we got a Primal Amulet. It's pretty good. We do have to take a turn off for it, but... Yeah, it definitely will still be a tough game. I'm just going to use Elvis Rejuvenation here to gain 4. Now the question is, do I want to take this turn off and just play the amulet? And I think the answer is yes. And then we'll just try to flip the amulet next turn. Because then we can do like chart, opt, chill, something else. Yeah, Merfolk is one of the best 2-color starting decks, which we're going to talk about in the exclamation free-to-play crafting guide. Merfolk has a really good starting point, but the problem is it doesn't end very well. So in the free-to-play and like building up your decks, there are some decks that start very well, and then they just drop off as you add more wildcards to them. And then there's decks that... start very badly, but also get significantly better over time. So you'll see both phenomenons. Incomparable chill and opt. I think I want to opt first. See if I get a gain life spell for 2. That would be like the ideal. We have to survive here. It's going to be rough. We're going to take at least 1 from the Runaway Steamkin, and then maybe... And if they don't attack with the Fanatical Firebrand, 1 more there. Okay. It's very good. We're going to take 1 at least. Perhaps more. We can take an extra turn with Nexus of Fate, which is awesome. and then we can flip the Primal Amulet. We have to hit something good, though. We're going to go to 6 with our first turn, and then 7 with our second turn. Understood, understood. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is there a way for me to flip? No. Okay. Gain 8. We have to bounce this Runaway Steamkin, right? We're going to gain 8, draw 2 here first. See what we get. And we're definitely bouncing the Runaway Steamkin. I don't know what else we're doing, though. We might gain 3 as well. We're at 14, so that's 3, 7, 8. One card can't actually kill me here. I'm going to full bounce it then. No, there's no reason to double bounce. I want to double gain life. I think that's better. Ooh, Fountain Renewal is perfect. Perfect draw. So now we can pass. Then we get to get, and it's 8. Yeah, the Nexus of Fate wasn't doubled. So it's going to be 7, 8, plus now only 1 unknown card, which is like pretty good for me here. I go to 6, and then I can go back up to 12. And I also have the Opt, which I want to do on upkeep. Because the Opt on upkeep is really important, because if I draw a Nexus of Fate, I can go double turns next turn. The Experimental Frenzy is very powerful, and we'll have to find another Blink of an Eye for it, and we've already seen 2 Blink in the Eyes. All right, let's Opt here. Because we still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 exactly. So we'll have enough if we draw exactly the Nexus of Fate here. Easy game. Easy game. Would have waited for my opponent to swing. The problem is I don't want to give my opponent 3 extra mana of the Raiden Project. That's why you want to bounce the Runaway Steamkin on your own turn. And you also want to hit, you could hit things like Fountain Renewal, which are like, make it much better for you in the long term. Yeah, we're going to win now. So that's why you want to bounce Steamkin before they're able to untap and use it on their main phase, like play in Experimental Frenzy and go off. All before main, by the way. All right, 2 turns. There's now 1 more turn after this one. We could still brick. For sure. All right, bouncing Frenzy here is huge. Actually, we can just Ixalan's Binding Frenzy. So that would leave 3 mana, so then we can actually pop a Fountain Renewal, or we just play a Psychic Corrosion. I want to play a Psychic Corrosion here. So we're going to Ixalan's Binding this, Experimental Frenzy, and then a Psychic Corrosion. I'm glad you're enjoying it. All right, so now this is our last extra turn. So we could have just bounced a bunch of things. These are going to have haste, but this Chamberlain's not. We could just Revitalize to draw more, which I think is the correct play. And then maybe we can draw into a Nexus of Fate to get 1 extra turn after this. We also could just Blink of an Eye after their attack. I really just want to draw 2 with the Revitalize. The bounce is not as important. Gaining 3 life is pretty good. We could now sack a Fountain Renewal if we want to. I actually just want to bounce this sorcery speed to see if I hit something that's important, like a amulet, for instance. If we hit something good there, then we actually have some sweet options. Sack a Fountain here in case I draw another Fountain or a Opt, for instance. Okay. We need to not brick, but we have 24 life now. Many lands here. Hey, this is a sweet deck. My opponent got a very, very strong draw, Raiden Project. How you doing, Kenson? Welcome to the stream. The Last God, welcome back. Nice to see you again. Could you use maybe some of the Jumpstart draw cards? Yeah. What's the Jumpstart draw card name? You been here? Oh, my bad. Apparently I miss you. My mistake. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out. DeFreaky, I have some feedback for you on the UI. People like the old UI, the overlay UI, better than the UI I'm currently using. Is there a way I can change the UI that I'm currently using back to the more preferred UI? Ascend is if you have 10 or more permanents. Once you've gotten an Ascend, you then get a token that represents that you have Ascend for the rest of the game. But you need to have 10 or more permanents. That includes lands, non-creatures, and creatures. Chemist's Insight and Radical Idea are the two that are... I think Radical Idea would be good for this deck since it would cost 1 mana. It would be a very good way to turn on Amulet. Yeah, so is there a way to make the... Is there a way to make the component look like the overlay? DeFreaky? Because I like the look of the... Okay, awesome, DeFreaky. Some people were talking about how they didn't like it, how it was in the middle of the screen. That was the biggest complaint. The issue is space. Okay. Instead of being on the side of the screen. And then you can expand it from the side. I don't need to chill here. It's a lot of lands. Fortunately, we're going to still win this game. Oh, okay. Gotcha, Kenson. This is a blue-white, basically a life gain, fog, taking turns type strategy. You're trying to take a large amount of turns with Nexus of Fate and then gain a lot of life. All centered around Primal Amulet, casting spells and then flipping it. Oh, that makes sense to Freaky. I gotcha. This is an example of a punt by the opponent. Yeah, I agree. They think I have Settle, but they can't win if I have Settle. They can't afford to play around Settle at this point. That is correct. Because my opponent is now just dead. Now I Psychic Corrosion and then copy the Charted Course, discard 2 cards, and then they're at 0 cards. Can't believe I've done this, won this game. Dude, I won this game. I'm crushing it. I'm so good. I can't believe we won this game. Yeah, you deck them out using Psychic Corrosion. That's the win con, Kenson. Deck lists are supposed to go in the sub-dono lists section, which I'm going to rename right now to deck... that's where they're supposed to go, is the sub-dono list section. For a limited time, it is for free, though, so... I did rip that take the turn card at the exact time I needed it. Here, I'll clean up the rest of the spots that you placed that deck. I cleaned up, don't worry. Oh yeah, for sure, Defreaky. I didn't mean to make it like sound abrasive at all. I'm trying to let me take time to share exactly how they felt. Like they just wanted it to be like less in the middle and more just like popping out of the side. And I don't get to watch many Magic streams, but I can understand why that is more appealing because instead of having like this thing where it drops down slowly, it's able to like come out more quickly and it's more hidden per se. All right, sweet, Freaky, awesome. Yeah, for sure, Kenson. Definitely agree. If you're looking for decks that and you don't know exactly where to start, I am still finishing some content on a free-to-play crafting guide on how to build upon the original decks that you've played that you get in the free-to-play experience and the new player experience. So it works around all the 5 monocolored decks and the 10 two-color decks. We are currently just have guides for the mono blue deck and the mono red deck, which are 2 decks that you said you didn't enjoy playing. But there are going to be more decks to come and more information about those decks. I'm just working through getting the material together. We worked on stream, putting a lot of that information together yesterday, and I look forward to working on the information more when I can get the chance to, which is probably going to be later tonight, maybe after this run with the blue-white deck. No, no problem at all, Last God. It wasn't super clear. Oh, that's awesome, Defreaky. I'm very excited for the future of Magic content, which is going to definitely include Stream Decker, as Stream Decker is the best way to share deck lists with your friends and with your viewers. I mean, it feels bad to bounce for sure, but like, we take 2 either way, and now they have to spend 2 mana to do so. What do I think of Arena's free-to-play model? I think Arena's free-to-play model is a little bit stingy. I think they could maybe take a book from Eternals, like take something from Eternals book and be a little more generous. But I understand them wanting to make money at the same time. I think Eternal, like I've spent a lot of money in Eternal. I mean, not as much as I spent on Arena, but I also just play Magic more than I play Eternal. But like, I feel like it could be a little bit more generous. Yeah, I think it is worth it, Nightcrawler, because it makes it so my opponent doesn't actually do anything else that turn. And they could have done something that was more problematic than just replaying the Pyromancer. So essentially, we prevented 2 damage, but by not dealing damage to my face, and they had to replay it and deal the 2 damage. So they dealt 2 damage to me that turn anyway, and I wasn't going to use my mana for anything else. And I think saving the Blink of an Eye is not that powerful against Mono Red. So yeah, there's also the $5 welcome package is very good. In addition to the free sealed code that you might have gotten at pre-release, and the 3-pack code you can get for the free Ravnica or whatever it's called, play Ravnica code. Those definitely help out, but still a little displeased. Yikes. I'm at 1. Yeah, play Ravnica was the code. Take 4, go out of my own terms. Show me. 1. 1's not 0, guys. Yeah, sure. I want to draw another one drop. Wow, we did. That's insane. Holy. Oh no, we. Wait a second. That won't work. If we use this to flip. Oh no, that's not a one drop. That's actually a two drop. I'm sorry. This is still good though. This is still very good. We get another turn, then we get to gain 8 and draw 2 more. We're not dead, which is like something that's phenomenal here. I don't think I need to play Psychic Corrosion yet. Let's just play this copied. Just not being dead here is actually absurd. Come on. We're at 9. They definitely could kill us here. All right, we need to draw really well here. I don't think there was another line there. We just didn't have quite enough mana to be able to flip and also play Nexus of Fate. We need to draw like an instant or sorcery 100%. Like, there's no other good draw. I guess that's a redraw, technically. That's like the worst redraw. All right, we got a 4 mana redraw. That's. Problem is like now a lot of like Nexus of Fate is uncastable. 4 mana redraw again. We have an out. The white gain spell. We can gain 6, go to 13 here. No, yikes. Feels good. That was close. That was like unreasonably close. Huh. Yeah, if we drew the gain 3, we can gain 6 there, and then we like might be able to survive. It's like very unlikely. But just the fact that we survived until that point was sweet. The fact that we were at 1 and we're able to survive another turn is cool. Yeah, this league was very enjoyable. I like this deck a lot. I love Nexus of Fate decks. I hadn't crafted them in open beta. I had crafted them in closed beta right away, but I hadn't crafted them in open. Yeah, sounds good, Mayo. Thanks so much for stopping by. I appreciate it. Can't say you're familiar with Eternal. It's not amazing to me, but it's also not predatory. So Eternal is the card game made by Direwolf. This is Eternal. Yeah, for sure, Last God. It's so powerful. It's a very good card game. I've played it a lot. I stream it a decent amount now. I'm streaming like what, two days a week now? Nothing scheduled, but. All right, let's change the music here. I'll be right back, guys. I'm gonna get some water real quick, and then we'll get going with some more magics. Maybe we'll be working on. We could work on the free to play guide a little bit here. Probably that'd be a good place to start. I'm almost done writing up the mono red part of it, and then we'll be able to write up maybe mono green or mono black. We're still working on the monocolor decks before we get to the 2-color decks, but yeah, we can definitely do that. I'll be right back in just 2 minutes time, and we'll do that. Yeah, for sure, Last God. I mean, we may still be able to play it tonight. There's still lots of time. The night is young, as the saying goes. I don't know how to read it on this website though. Hey, DeFreaky, does Stream Decker import this stuff? We'll see. Sweet. I assumed it did because it's a great product. After all, best streaming tool, NA. Oops. It's all right. We'll just wait. We'll wait for the spectacular things. All right. Just keep us waiting, wanting more. Hatchery Spider. Are you trying to do deck lists or exclamation lists? What are you trying to do? List is with an S for submitting your own list, and deck list will get you the deck list. Yeah, for sure. I got you. No, the song list does not work for Spotify. It's right here. This is In the Middle by Mona. Christian girlfriend. Yo, Gabby, thanks for the raid. Appreciate it. Thanks for the 306 viewer raid. The Brood. The Viper Brood in the house. Hey, how you doing, Radley? Nice to see you. The Brood is coming. Thanks so much for the raid, Gabby. Really appreciate it. How you doing? How was your stream? We're taking a look at this black-green list. It's a viewer list right now. So I'm not a huge fan of Hatchery Spider. What's your intention behind Hatchery Spider in this deck? I also not a fan of like Necrotic Wound. A lot has to be going right for this removal spell to be very good. I know you're like trying to mill a lot, but the thing is like a lot of these cards are very bad when your engine doesn't work. And that's like the huge disadvantage. Last God. Heading out for the night. Have a good one. Yeah, thanks so much for Gabby. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Thanks so much for the follows, everybody. Means a lot. Been really impressed with Hatchery Spider in your mono green Stompy sideboard? Okay, interesting. It's alright, Laura Gambler. Welcome nonetheless. Okay, interesting. I played a lot of green blacklists now, and I played a version quite similar to this, and I wasn't a huge fan. I didn't like the all-in strategy of being all graveyard based and have very mediocre cards in your deck. I just like having more powerful cards in my green black deck. I really enjoyed playing more green black. Have you tried Is It Drake's much for standard? I have tried it, Radley, and I really think it's good. You know what? Actually, I think we're actually going to be playing some more Is It Drake's. We're going to take a break from the viewer lists. We're going to be playing some Is It Drake's. That deck was a blast earlier. So let's get some of that gameplay going. Where are we here? Is It Drake's? Nice. That's awesome. Last card. It really hurts L's when like not that many green lands come into play turn 1. That is a huge disadvantage as well. Yeah. When you're playing Landward Elf, you want to have like what 16 untapped green sources on turn 1, something like that, 15 or 16. Yeah, definitely. You can put it in the Discord under the sub and dono list section for a limited time only. It is free for viewer lists. Yeah, Izzet is pretty real and it's very powerful, just very powerful and really sweet. Hearthstone ad on the MTG screen is golden. I agree, Laser says Pew. Maybe they're threatened by MTG Arena. Nah. They're threatened. They're feeling insecure. Time to break out the ads. Bring them back. That's what they all say, Laura. How do I believe you? How do I believe you? Everyone says their list came first. All right, that sounds great. Ooh, Goblin Extramancer is like probably the best card to play on turn 2. Oh, nice. All right, so we can combo if my opponent doesn't remove the Electromancer. We'll be able to go like Radical Idea, Shock, Phoenix out. This is awesome. It's like Boros Angels, but doesn't suck. Yeah, nice. We're gonna do Radical Idea in case we actually draw another Phoenix, because then we'll be able to put another Phoenix in the graveyard. We're gonna do an Opt here to set up for next turn. I think it's better than casting another Radical Idea. I don't want another Opt. I kind of want another land or a 4-drop creature. And there you go, turn 3 Phoenix, just like that. I mean, hey, Opt is really good at getting what it needs. All right, so it gets Arc-like Phoenix here. We don't actually have any bounce in the mains, which is unfortunate. Well, let's just cycle with the Radical Idea here. It bothers you that it says anniversary instead of just 6-month resub. Yo, thanks so much for the 6-month resubscription. Really, really appreciate it. Darth, thanks for continuing to support the stream. 6 whole months, that's half a year. Congratulations on the new sub badge. They're playing controls, so like Lava Coil and Beacon Bolt aren't going to be very good. Just cycling through the deck, trying to see if we can find anything. We've seen a lot of cards now. Yes, I could have. You're right. The Raiding Project. That is correct. I did miss sequence with that. Drakes are fine. We just need more threats. We can kill Ral this turn, which is a pretty good win. It's pretty inefficient to kill Ral, but like Ral's a really important card here. We're at the Shock, I believe, unless we play the Island. Play the Island. We can Discovery now, try to find a Phoenix. Still no Phoenix. I'm not sure if I don't think I want this shock, but I do want the discovery. We could try to find the Phoenix, but I want to make sure that I kill this Ral. I think Ral's very important for the deck to keep getting card advantage. So we can just use the discovery next turn. So that's like 6 damage that didn't go out the face though, so my opponent could be at 7 right now. But I think Ral is too powerful to leave it alone. There's the Phoenix finally. And perfect, it's on the turn and we can Beacon Bolt as well. So we can Beacon Bolt, discard the Phoenix. This is where Beacon Bolt is so powerful. We didn't need a removal spell for the longest time. And now we were just able to discard the Arc-like Phoenix that we drew. And kill the Niv Mizzet. It's just a backup removal spell. It's really, really clutch in a lot of spots. It also can kill huge creatures. That was brave of the opponent. Yeah, definitely very brave. Just want to draw another Drake here. Feels bad. So we're bricking a little bit here. Drew a lot of lands. I guess eventually we're going to draw a lot of lands though, right? We have a lot of spells so far. We've seen 0 Drakes. Ah, there we go. Right on time. Just when we were talking about you. The old casual 16-4 Drake. You just gotta ask, yeah. I don't really want to attack with my Arc-like Phoenix into the possible settle. So I think I'm just going to attack with the Goblin Electromancer here and deal 2. I think it's worth playing around settle here and just attacking with Electromancer. We have a decent amount of burn still in our deck. So if my opponent didn't have settle, we gave the opportunity here to draw like targeted removal for it, but all right. We finally have to attack with it. All right, just a lightning strike. That's not as good. I don't even think we're supposed to play a land, to be honest. This is unfortunate. We had to draw a Beacon Bolt now. Oh, man. Flooding, right? I guess we didn't draw lands for a long time. I don't know. Just feels bad. You could still kill the opponent if they're, like, not careful. But it has to start with a Chart a Course. We, like, Chart a Course into... Oh, we could draw the 4-mana draw spell. Chemist's Insight would be a good starting point. Nope, we're dead. We'd have to draw like Chemist's Insight into something else. It would definitely require a lot. But then we just get burned to death from the Niv Mizzet. Like, we're not gonna have enough life after, because there's guaranteed 7 life. That's now we're at, like, that's 7 damage, 8 damage now. We're at 2. Between their natural draw, their fairy draw, and their Niv Mizzet attack, I'm now at 2. And then I can only cast 2 more instant sorceries, so. Yo, the Raiden Project, thanks so much for the follow. Appreciate it. And Shep DM, appreciate it. ZKLL, kudos. Thanks so much, everybody coming over from the Gabby hosts and staying and hanging out. Feels bad. I think control is the worst matchup, and if you're playing in a competitive sense, the sideboard helps out a lot with the control matchup. It has like Niv-Mizzet and a number of other things in it. But game 1 is a bit of a tough game against control. And since we're only playing the best of ones here, for the time being, definitely is a disadvantage. Yo, nice hub. That's awesome. See, Laura Gambler put in a list into the Discord. Let's take a look at it real quick. It's Jeskai with Rafts and Aurelias and Joyras. Ooh. Very rare and mythic based, eh? It's basically the entire deck is rare and mythics. That looks sweet, though. It's basically splashing blue for Raft, Teferi, and Joyra. Not sure if the Joyra is worth the splash, but seems interesting. I think that game was a little bit unlucky, ZKLO. Like, I think we just needed to draw like 1 or 2 more things to end the game there. And we kind of just... We drew 5 straight lands and like no cantrips at all. I think we needed like 1 or 2 cantrips to end the game. Gambler, thanks so much for the follow. Appreciate it. Yeah, that list looks sweet. I'm not sure if I'll be able to try it out. That's a lot of mythics and rares. And I have a decent amount of them, but we'll have to take a look at to see my collection. Teferi is definitely worth the splash. I haven't actually seen that deck too much popping up. It's like $600 in paper. Yeah, it seems about right. Mono blue, eh? Lava Coil we want to save. I want to shock here. I want to keep both here. We can just shock this one. Mono blue is rough, but I think if we just keep removing every single thing, and we have multiple ways to do so, I think that would be very important to victory. If they play a Jhin here, Tempest of the Tempest variety, then we can just Lava Coil it. Beacon Bolt can now deal with his Exclusion Mage. I can go Electromancer into Beacon Bolt. Beacon Bolt is very good at killing things with larger toughness later, but I think we just want to keep everything off the board in mono blue. This is a tough matchup if we're not productive, if we're not like productively hitting them. And since we haven't found, we started with 1 cantrip, and since we haven't found more cantrips, we found more removal. It is definitely a bad recipe against mono blue. You want to be proactive against them. You don't want to just be entirely reactive because the deck is very good at protecting itself. So that's definitely one disadvantage of the particular line that we were taking right now, which is more of a defensive line. I'm totally willing to make this trade. They are not going to. That makes sense, Gambler. Yo, what's up, Hub? How you doing, buddy? And Kenson, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. I'm going to keep a mountain in my hand. I usually like having more islands on the battlefield than mountains, since a lot of the cantrips are blue base. Well, all of them are. You're never productive? Feels bad, man. You need to work on that in your life. Maybe your life will be better if you're more productive, Ice. Expansion Explosion is really good against non-control. The role that it fills is that it can remove creatures. It's just like a very expensive removal spell that also redraws you things. It just shows how good it is when you can play it against control. But like removing a card and like drawing 1 or 2 cards is reasonable. It's a little expensive to do so, but instant speed is a huge plus. I really want a Beacon Bolt here, but it's just such a waste. I don't think so. I think Expansion and Explosion is pretty good. But I understand that, like, Essence Scatter is a premium card. Especially when you're on the play. Essence Scatter is very powerful when you're on the play. Sure. Yeah, for sure, for sure. They didn't tap something down, which is suspicious. It's all about, like, what you want to, what deck you want to beat more so, right? You usually want to target a particular deck when you're making a deck, or a range of decks that you want to beat. And so your exact configuration is going to be based on the exact decks that you actually want to beat consistently. Electro Beatdown is real, I guess, Raiden Project. I guess. I think Opt's better than a random draw. Since we can, like, bottom it, and we have plenty of mana. Yeah. They could counterspell this, which would be rough. I shouldn't have played the mountain. Should not have played the mountain here, but I guess like we're playing around Spell Pierce now. Yeah. But now we have to deck for 5 here, which is great. This makes sure that the Arclight Phoenix is encountered. So I could have just cast the Arclight Phoenix, but then it could have been encountered by the Resist Retort. This way it actually is just a trigger and it comes back, which is much better. Yeah, I mean, I think that's just like variance hub. Unfortunately. We're gonna save the Radical Idea for next turn. They don't really draw a lot of things. Oh no, my Phoenix. I guess I'll be able to Radical Idea, and then I just have to draw a spell. That's actually not that bad. Radical Idea, almost bringing back the Phoenix by itself, is just so cool. We just have to hit a spell here in 2 draws. Alright, well, you know. Maybe not. It's not the 3rd spell, bud. Okay. Alright. I'll take it. Electro Beatdown for real though, right? Need a report player button in this game? Where would you recommend the button be, Yager? In the menu, report your current opponent. It took so long to find that Phoenix. That was the first one we found too. Yeah, that'd definitely be a good ad. I'm really happy they added the friends list finally. Well, announced they were adding the friends list. It's pretty exciting. Just a roper. Gambler. Some people rope like every single turn and stuff. Will you be my friend? Maybe Team Darkwater. I'll have to consider it. I'm sorry. I mean, I believe that's what the friends list might be in Kensen. They did announce that they are adding a friends list. I don't know to what extent the friends list is going to be, but Pretty sure 1v1 private masters is on the menu. Oh, we're getting 1v1 before a friends list? Oh, okay. We're at the same time. Gotcha. The only reason you play Hearthstone is for the 1v1s? That makes sense. To play card games with your friends. As it's Magic the Gathering. I heard I was reading a thread on Twitter recently about how some person was like ranting about it's a gathering card game, so you have to be able to spend time with your friends. So therefore, why haven't they made it yet? Where you can actually spend time with your friends on Arena? Yes, they never intend to do it. Yes, it is, Laura. Which is very nice. Oh, sync for one. I should have shocked first. The shame shock. No. I was going to shock anyway. I should have just shocked first. Online, like, tournaments would be great. I don't know if it's, like, exactly GPs, but, like, some sort of tournament would be awesome. I agree. What's their plan here? Oh, they're dead next turn, I think. Right, exactly. They'll be very well run. More like, it's kind of like the PTQs on MTGO. But those aren't as popular because MTGO is not as popular. They've had like PTQs and such, and like those type of tournaments on MTGO for a while. You wouldn't want it to replace paper, but it have it be a large supplement to it. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I almost entirely play Magic Online, both on the MTGO client for like modern and older formats, and then on Arena I play Standard a lot. Like, I basically don't play any paper Magic anymore, to the point where I am probably selling a lot of the cards that I have right now. MTGO is unwatchable unless you know exactly what's going on in the format. I think like the biggest disadvantage of MTGO, streaming MTGO, is not having a extension like Deckmaster, where you're able to actually view what's going on in the field and like actually read the text, which is super important. Am I keeping my Pauper deck? Yeah, I'm keeping my Pauper deck. Yeah, keeping my Pauper deck, and I'm keeping a Commander deck. MTGO is exactly like watching paper Magic, which is the problem, not me. Watching paper Magic is also a problem. Where you can barely read the cards, and you have to know exactly what those cards are to understand what's going on in the board state. So for those people that don't understand all the cards of the format, it is tough for people to watch and say, oh, that's cool, that's what's going on. But with the ability of things like Deckmaster, or you are able to see the cards, and they're larger on the screen, and that type of thing. Think you'd be really interested in watching an MTGA game that was shoutcasted with the Deckmaster enabled? Yeah, I think that'd be really sweet if coverage switched over to MTGA, and that was like the primary way that coverage was done. Is that like, even if the people that were playing the event in paper were playing paper, if someone was simulating what that was being done on an electrical, like an electric, a virtual client that looked exactly like Arena, even if the people weren't playing the actual client. Because that's the one thing is like, oh, well, they're playing a paper tournament to play a paper tournament. And that's like, that's entirely fine. But maybe that's someone's job to enter all the movements in from what they're doing in paper. So that it makes it so that it's easier to watch, and then you can, like, you know, cast over it. Which would be really sweet. It'd be really awesome. Casuals can go away. Yikes, dude. Yikes. It would definitely take some work, and it would cost some amount of money because you'd have to hire someone that would, you know, do that role, that would, you know, do that work. It's definitely there's definitely a cost to it, and there's definitely some negatives that can go on with it, but I think that would be really sick. I want a 4th land for the Crackling Drake. Also, Drake is huge already, right? Yeah, Drake's already a 4/4. It's so easy to get large Drakes in this deck. It'd be really, really tough to do. Is it really that tough? So they just have spotters at the table and they just like record it on a virtual client? Would it really be that hard? I don't know. You mean a custom client? Oh yeah. It would take some amount of work. Playing against blue control decks, yeah. 6/4, by the way. Easy. You could avoid cheating by going to a virtual client. That makes sense. Yeah, not me. They don't have 20 plus main deck shuffle effects. They don't have that many number. Like, the number is not that high. Wait, my opponent's playing. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with my opponent. I don't know what they're doing over there. They're playing like 90 cards? I don't know if 90 is the correct number. They're playing some strange amount. I think it's 90. Just begun. This crackling Drake is so big. Why am I insulting? Nah, I'm just confused. Maybe the opponent doesn't know about playing only 60 cards. Some people don't know that you want to play only the minimum amount. So for those of you that are watching and don't know, if you can play as few cards as you can in your deck, so which is 60, because then it creates the most cohesive game plan with the most amount of consistency. They must be new and now you feel bad. Yeah, come on, Lore Gambler. Not even nice to OP. Poor OP over here. Doesn't know what's going on. Yeah, fair enough, Nami. You got me. Although, I guess if you're Jeff Hoagland, you'll play 61 all the time because he's a monster. Hoagland is the monster, and he just like plays all 61 card decks. How you doing, Klingbolt? Nice to see you. Anti-mill plan is when you play like 90 cards. That makes sense. Does make sense. Bipolar Sunshine, welcome to the stream. I agree. I agree. Max. Who can play whatever? He gets paid to play literally every single deck. Yeah, that's fair. It's a good. That's a good. Good rationale. Us mere mortals have to stay at 60. Mere mortals. Oh, like post sideboard you played more? Gotcha. They made me discard a radical idea? Okay. Black-white stuff. Could have played the island and then like radical idea here. Probably should have done that instead of the shock. Opt to opt. Agreed. All right. Discard Phoenix. We cast 3, right? Yeah. What's the chance my opponent only blocks with 2? Good chance. If my opponent blocks correctly, that's all right with me. Yo, thanks for the follow, Meek. Oh, Modern Mill? Yeah, fair enough. Modern Mill is pretty average still. It hasn't gotten insane. Not like there's any new cards that were printed for it. It was like, oh man, that card is insane. Deck's still just mediocre. I mean, it's better than it used to be. That is true. It did get some significant upgrades recently. Every deck in Modern is tier 2. Any deck can 3-2 in Modern. That's true. Every deck is a 3-2 deck. There's no tiers below 2. I do agree with that, though. We can't triple here. I guess I should have used the Beacon Bolt from the graveyard. Discard this Beacon Bolt. I don't think we'll need another Beacon Bolt. We have a lot of Beacon Bolts going on here. There's lethal? No. There's no lethal. Can't double Beacon Bolt when there's no target. We have to kill our own Electromancer. So we do not have lethal. Correct, and then there's 2 Phoenixes? Oh, there's 2? Never mind. Yeah, that's a mistake. That's what you call a mistake. I thought there was only 1 Phoenix. I didn't realize there was a second. Yeah, I forgot about the one I hardcasted. Wasn't really paid attention too well, apparently. I forgot we had a second Phoenix. I was thinking that the math that I was thinking was there's only 1 Phoenix, and I just didn't look in my graveyard about the second one. Didn't matter. MTG Brewhouse says, so I played against a green-white Hate Bears deck at LGS versus the red-black Hollowed One deck in Modern. Modern, for reference. Game 2, turn 1, he plays a Burning Inquiry. I discarded a Wiltleaf Liege and 2 Obstinate Balos. Yo, MTG Brewhouse, you are running hot. Running hot. Just after that game, you just gotta quit Magic. Alright? You can't get hotter than that. That's hotter than the sun. Arena isn't for tight plays, Kappa. That's what I have to say to that. I have my big old stinker face on. If I had done that on MTGO, there have been 87 comments about how I was a punt immediately. Yeah. I like how less people acknowledged that it was wrong. You can do it in standard with null hide. Yeah, you can. Except Burning Inquiry doesn't exist in standard, so you can't. You can kind of do it, but you just can't. So similar, but no. That is very true, though, Nami. Matchmaking for ladder? I thought they had fixed it a bit. I'm currently not playing ladder. I'm playing like the event mode or whatever. Not event mode, that's the wrong. Just a constructed event. Heartless Pillage does exist though. What does that card do? I don't know what that card does. Use this Lego. I'm gonna kill the River Sneak. Can't combo. We're gonna take this game a little bit slower. Can't quite put all the Phoenixes in the graveyard and stuff. Oh, so you can't do it on turn 1. Right. Discard 2, create a treasure. Oh, but the thing is, Nullhide Ferox only triggers off of your opponent's effects. So can't quite do that. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. It is a discard spell. I'm spacey today. I can't read also. No, I got it now. I understand how it works now. How do the constructed events affect your ranking? I have no idea and I don't care. Kaluki, bro. Rankings are broken on MTGA. And they also don't matter, so. There's no, rewards they give out for rankings. And they're not really tracked well. And the ranking system doesn't appear to be working right. So I don't really consider it important at this current time. If Nullhide worked anytime it was discarded by any card effect, it would be insane. They have a River Hide boon. What is the card? What's the card's name? It's 1 in a green and puts 2 counters. One counter on a Merfolk, 1 counter on a creature. River Herald's boon. That's it. River Herald's boon. They could have put 2 counters on, but neglected to do so. All right. Here we go. Triple Arc-like Phoenix. We were playing this deck earlier, and I got all 4 Arc-like Phoenixes out one turn. I think it was like turn 6, turn 5, something like that. The bird cry sound and the animation for the bird are both very good. I am very, very happy with the Arc-like Phoenix animation and sound. I think they were like spot on. You know, I've heard a lot of birds in my lifetime. They're fast as well. They are fast as well. We got the 4th one. Nice. But saying that's BM. But Zed, why did you get the 4th one? You already had lethal. I just wanted to see if I could find it. I just like to see the, like, if I needed to deal an extra 3 damage there, could I have? The answer was yes. Mirrors are not always RNG, the Raiden project. Depends on what deck you're playing. Because if your deck is configured, like, if you're playing the same colors, if you're configured for the mirror match, then you might be you would probably end up, you know, winning a larger percentage of the time. That's what you see in standard when like a particular deck is popular. The mirror match then it comes down to a lot of like which exact configuration you're on. This last song was Amsterdam by Nothing But Thieves. That does not work. I have no idea why, but nothing ever gets Spotify. I can't figure out how. I figured out how for a little while, and then it kept breaking on Windows 10 Spotify. Yeah, you're welcome, Blissfully Bleak. Swag more than good plays. Oh, gotcha, Raiden. That makes sense. No problem at all. I love the interaction of Chart a Course and Arc-like Phoenix because often Chart a Course has a disadvantage, which is you have to discard a card if you cast it pre-combat, and a lot of red-blue decks, like with Prowess, traditionally didn't want to do that. I don't know why I didn't cast the Opt. But with a deck like this, you're able to utilize the discard off of the Chart of Course to be positive. Some matchups are actual RNG. I'm not dismissing that, though, not me. There's a lot of synergy in this deck, though. The entire deck is synergy. Just another thing is like how quickly you can get your Drakes to be very, very large. Like on turn 4, they can be like 5, 6, even 7. We're gonna double Chart a Course here to hopefully find it, and then shock the guy that's defending here. Most of my opponent's decks so far this league actually have been. I don't really want a 4th island. Can't cast Crackling Drake still. I'm just a bad guy playing the... Dirty net decker, after all. Yeah, for sure. I just don't really like making my own lists. So I either get them from like trophies or like recent tournaments, or from viewers or donations and stuff. I just like really like playing things that other people have made and maybe changing a few cards in them, but for the most part, I don't really enjoy deck building. I know that deck building is a thing that a lot of people enjoy about Magic and that they find enjoyable in Magic, but it's an aspect of Magic that I don't enjoy personally, so oh, I should have done auto tap. Oh no, ruined by auto tap. I thought it would actually tap correctly. Auto tap's been so good recently. Ruined. Ruined. Auto tap's been very nice to me lately. That was the first time I got debated by auto tap in a long, long, long time. Feels bad. Mistakes were made. I don't know. It's a great question, not me. Firefleet, Daredevil, a bunch of two toughness creatures, and Golden Demise. I think my opponent is confused about playing creatures and also things that remove those said creatures. They're not set on any particular game plan. They're just playing some cards. So this is something to note. Rather than insulting the opponent, we can actually take what the opponent's playing and use it as a learning experience. So to use this as a learning experience, if you're making your own deck and you would like to, deviate, you want to make sure that your deck has a cohesive game plan. It's very important for decks to have cohesive game plans, as that is how you're actually going to be able to accomplish what you want to a consistent amount of the time. And if you're playing some cards just in case this goes wrong, or just in case this, just in case that, then you're probably going to have trouble some amount of the time because you're playing a lot of just in case cards. And just in case cards traditionally cause issues because those just in case cards don't go towards your major game plan. I mean, you could be a dirty net decker and just grab all the lists from the internet, and that's fine. But if you really enjoy building decks, make sure that when you're trying to build your decks, that your deck has a cohesive game plan that it's trying to accomplish. It's trying to finish the game as quickly as possible while expanding a lot of resources to do so. Or maybe it's a mid-range deck that's trying to get as many 2-for-1s as it possibly can. Another possibility could be you want to control the game and not play anything for the first 6-7 turns of the game, and then eventually play your win con and win the game. Those are like 3 generic examples. Another example is if you are a creature-based small deck, you probably don't have Golden Demises in it. Or if you're a Golden Demise deck, you probably don't want to have a lot of creatures that die Golden Demise, for instance. $40. I need 1 more damage. Yeah, usually a month or 2 into the format, standard gets solved. Like, quote unquote, solved. This standard is taking a little bit longer to settle than most. Like, for instance, M19 standard kind of settled down in the first 3 weeks, 2 weeks. Bant turns kind of popped up for like a week or two, but it was shown that it wasn't actually that powerful. But Bant turns was like the only one that kind of popped up that was the exception of M19 standard. But for the most part, M19 standard would kind of like settle down like 2.5 weeks into it. Oh yeah, for sure. Or yeah, exactly right, Kenson. That's a good way to look at it. Memes are always good, not me. Memes have a lot of value in life. Yeah, Kaladesh and Omnicat were definitely overshadowing of that format. There were other reasons as well, but memes can be dreams. Yeah, they can. That is correct. I know I 100% want the card on top, but this. So maybe like casting this opt is actually silly. We could just put it in the graveyard and just draw on the discovery. Yeah, we probably should just play this shock. There's no purpose to. If I want to keep the card on top, there's no purpose to like keeping and then opting. We could have just like held the shock up and then shocked this guy. Yeah, that was bad. There's no reason to like actually keep the opt if we're just gonna top anyway. Unless we'd like wait on the ops, which we weren't gonna do because we wanted to keep. We should have kept up shock against like a Jessica, Boros deck. I'll block if they have an integrity. That's fine with me. We have shock and lava coil for next turn here. Oh, conclave tribunal. I think I want to dig here. Oh, come on. I forgot sequencing, Zane. Come on, sequencing. Yeah, I know. I wasn't reading chat. I totally forgot about Tashik having text. that text comes up so not like so uncommon that I totally forgot. Uh, yikes, dude. It's very uncommon that text actually comes up. It's text though. You could feel the future. You knew it. Yeah, me too. Discovery is so good. I just really want it to work here. We haven't found any phoenixes. Phoenixes? Yeah, phoenixes. We're just gonna trade with the challenger here. Man, what a big oopsie, man. We're taking so much extra damage because of that big oopsie. And now we have to find a removal spell for the Dajik. Took like 8 extra damage because the big oops. Removal spell, please. Beacon Bolt takes care of it. Which we can actually put in the graveyard and then cast. That's pretty sick. And we can draw a random card. If we draw it first with the Radical Idea, we could have drawn another Phoenix. My sequencing is off right now. We could have drawn another Phoenix and then discard another Phoenix. So we're supposed to actually Radical Idea first. In case we draw another Phoenix, exactly. Because then we can discard the first Phoenix to the Radical Idea, and then we could have discarded the second one to the Beacon Bolt. You liked having 2 Beacon Bolts, but the aggressive line is good too. I think I just want to find more action, right? Like, we need to end the game because of things like Risk Factor, for instance. Like, a random removal spell is not as good as, like... They're drawing a lot of cards. They might have burn, they might not, but... Crackling Jake is a 10-4, so... We just need, like, a spell or two. Oh, come on. Just like 1 or 2 spells. There's a shock. Perfect. That'll make it 11. So that means that my opponent's going to... They just have to have 7 points of burn, I guess. 11, 14. So we have 14 in the air. We can even shock the Banneret if we want. All right, that's bad. Yeah, it's just not like a very powerful card. Like, a lot of the times it's just a win more. You just don't need it. Because you already have, like, the Phoenixes to combo and stuff like that. But it would be powerful some amount of the time. They hit me for 4, put me into 3. This is where the extra 8 damage that we took earlier feels bad, man. Extra 8 damage and an extra removal spell. That's fair, not me. Definitely lost that game because of me. Not because of the matchup or the draws or anything like that. That loss was 100% my fault. 100% my fault. That's correct. Magic shows that there needed to be punts. Exactly right. How'd you know, not me? I need to find a removal spell here. Wow. Double Phoenix? That's kind of absurd. And we have another Phoenix here? Alright. We're gonna have a triple Phoenix. We're gonna have a triple Phoenix turn. It was like the perfect way to discovery there. We didn't want those in our hand. I want to draw a removal spell with the red. But I also want to play the Is a Guildgate here. I'm just going to play the Discovery here. Now, I can't draw a Shock, which is bad. Discovery is definitely a good magic card. Like, we just put a Beacon Bolt in the graveyard and then drew the Lava Coil. Lava Coil will be able to deal with the Primate, probably. Primate's probably going to be an under 4. Or the Beacon Bolt can also deal with things, like the Beacon Bolt's at 3, yeah. So we'll be able to Lava Coil and Beacon Bolt and deal with the... Oh, we can't do both, though. We have to deal with one. So we'd rather deal with the War Leader here. I'm definitely going to chart a course to start. Go to Phoenix. Play a Sulphur Falls. Play a Lava Coil. Very, very expensive cards, but our Beacon Bolt's definitely going to be able to kill the Primate here. We're going to take 4 or more. Vanquisher's Banner on Kitty Cat. So we're taking 6. But we can kill the Primate here and Radical Idea on this. Okay. I drew an Opt. But that doesn't help. I mean, I can... Okay, so I can Opt and double Radical Idea, but I need to remove the Primate. Opt doesn't actually help. Because I need to remove their board proactively. So I think I actually just want to Beacon Bolt and Radical Idea this turn. Well, Opt makes it so I can go triple Phoenix, but... I can get the 3 Phoenixes for sure. With the Radical Idea, and Opt, but I don't want to do that because I'd rather just remove the large cat. Like, I understand that it's an option. But I don't think that's the way to victory here right now. We could Opt for Shock. Yeah, but that means we'd have to hit a Shock, right? And I'd rather just save the Opt for next turn. Because next turn we're going to Beacon Bolt, Radical Idea, and Opt here. Like, we're setting up for a good turn. We're at 5, and we can set up for a good turn this turn, next turn, where we Beacon Bolt and do some other stuff. There's other Opts. All right, so we're gonna continue. We're gonna start with the Opt. Gonna bottom that. Drew it anyway. We can Opt again, but that's not actually that efficient. We can Discovery. And then we can Beacon Bolt. I like that. There's a Lava Coil and a Crackling Drake. I like both of them. Doesn't really matter the order that I draw them in. I like discarding the Chemist's Insight here. And now we can just, like, not attack with... We can attack with... 2? Yeah, I think we attack with 2 here. There may be some weird white card that pumps, not me. I think we just want to play super safe here. Like, we have, like... We have the flexibility of playing super safe, and I don't feel like there's a reason we shouldn't be playing super safe here. Well, next turn we're just going to be playing Crackling Drake defensively and have Beacon Bolt and Radical Idea and Chemist's Insight and be able to buy back these Phoenixes pretty easily. We just don't want to take extra damage in case my opponent floods the board and allow my opponent just to attack in for free. I don't think we do. We're gonna attack for 6 here. Crackling Drake 11-4, by the way. What a nice Crackling Drake. So they probably have another seal away here. Which means they go down to 6 and then die next turn. Oh, they actually have settle. Not necessarily. Alright, we got wrecked. I guess we should have attacked into settle. Get wrecked. Now we have another lethal threat here. Whoopsie. Whoopsie indeed. We only have one Phoenix left in the deck. Yeah, again, this is another example of my opponent being... Like, my opponent's confused by the strategy that they're trying to employ. This is another similar example. They're just confused with the strategy they're trying to employ while playing aggressive cats, but also control cards like Cleansing Nova and Settle Wreckage. The ideal game plan is to have things like Conclave Tribunal or Baffling End to then disrupt the opponent so you're able to apply lethal pressure. We're at 29 cards. We have, what, 2 more Drakes? And 1 more Phoenix? Yo, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it, my Polar Sunshine. Appreciate it. Come on. Give please. I appreciate that. Could this deck be like a main deck fight with fire? I mean, that's Beacon Bolt. I would need to fight with fire. Oh, when it goes like super long? I guess so. But Beacon Bolt like kind of fills the removal that fight with fire that would fill. And the plus side of fight with fire is like so minimal because the deck usually wins way before that. I understand. It's only playing 2 Beacon Bolts. We could have charted the course there. Probably was correct. I don't see the downside of doing so. To try to draw some more burn. Then we don't have to discard this island, but whatever. We'll be fine. They have another settle. That would be so good. So good. Hey, Tim. How you doing, buddy? Going well. Oh, we got another burn spell. Alright, they have another settle. They don't lose this turn. I think they have an instant too because of how they're not just like yield at all. And for that reason, I'm just attacking with Electromancer. Just shock your Phoenix if they have another settle. That's fair. Feeling less sick? That's awesome. That's awesome. I think it's worth playing around Settle because we can right now. Revitalize would be wrecked, yeah. I don't know what this instant is that they're holding up. Are they just faking like they have a Settle, probably? Alright, revitalize me. Or yourself, I guess. Revitalize yourself. I agree. I agree. It's moment of triumph. They got me. They had it. They had gain 2. They had a moment of triumph. Yikes, dude. You were close. That kind of makes more sense. Oh, here we go. Deck's good, though, so he still won. It's a combat trick that also gains life, I guess, in their aggressive deck. 17 for Crackling Drake, by the way. Sweet. Well, then, we got there. We also broke Arena, apparently. There is a better combat check in guilds, I agree. But that you get that one for free, not me. Oh, Arena crashed. You get that one for free. We hadn't reset Arena in a while. Mondocron. Thanks so much for the follow. Appreciate it. Thanks so much for tuning in today, guys. You guys have been phenomenal. Really appreciate you guys hanging out. First I break YouTube and now I break Arena. Yeah, dude, I just break everything. I'm a menace. Ooh, nice. Here's your chance to test my deck out. I think I'm actually going to call it for the day. Guys, I streamed 2 hours earlier and I just streamed 4 hours now. I think I'm going to call it for the night. I have to work on some more material and upload some things to YouTube. Exclamation YouTube. I want to work more on the free-to-play crafting stuff. So there's a document I'm working on right now, the free-to-play crafting guide, and I have some more material to go through on that. So there's a giant island stuck on my screen. I think if you highlight over it again, it's fine then. Not me. But I think that's gonna be it for tonight, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. Really appreciate all the support. Thanks so much for all the raid from Gabby and all this other support you guys have shown. Thanks so much for tuning in. And if you're watching on YouTube, thanks so much. And hit that subscribe button. If you're watching here on Twitch, thanks so much for hanging out the whole time. I put all my previous VODs on YouTube. You can check it out there. So